Hi everyone, I'm Kimberly Trimpe from Paws and Think. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to teach the touch cue. Now this is what's known as a targeting skill. You can teach a dog to target a person or an object using their nose or their paw. We find it helpful in therapy work and also in your daily life to teach a nose touch. So I'm going to show you how to teach your dog to touch his nose to your hand and then to follow that hand as you move around. You want to start off with a tasty treat in one hand. You want to open up your dominant hand so your fingers are pointed downward and your palm is facing your dog, just holding it just about an inch or less from your dog's nose. Out of natural curiosity, your dog will probably come up and sniff your hand, especially if it smells a little bit like the treats you've been handling. And so as soon as your dog's nose touches your hand, you're going to mark that correct behavior with a yes or a good dog, and then reward from the other hand. You'll notice that when I'm first demonstrating the behavior, I'm not going to be using the verbal cue of touch. I want to consistently get my dog offering that touch behavior, so the behavior is just where I want it before I add that verbal cue. Otherwise, there can be some confusion in your dog about what behavior you're really wanting. So you want to get it just where you want it before you name it. This is Frannie, and she's going to help me today. Now, Frannie is still in the process of learning this behavior, so the behavior is not perfect, and she could make a mistake, which we'll just learn, use as part of our learning process. So to help her get it a little more quickly, since she doesn't quite have it yet, I'm going to start off and I'm going to put the treat between my thumb and the rest of my hand. All right, so hopefully that when I present her the hand, that treat is going to help lure her over to that hand, and then I'm just going to pop the treat into my hand. So again, the treat is luring her over to there, and then I'm also rewarding her for that hand, so it's help teaching her where I want her nose. All right, and then we're going to see if she can do it without the treat. But we're going to start it with the treat between my thumb and my hand. Yes! Marking the behavior. But remember, we're not going to use the verbal cue of touch right now because she doesn't know it well enough. We're just getting that consistent behavior. Yes! Yes! Good job! Now let's try the exact same behavior, except I don't have the treat in my hand. The treat is now in my opposite hand. Frannie, are you ready? Yes! Good job! Now I'm going to do that same behavior, but I'm going to add in the verbal cue. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it goes the way we hope. Touch! Yes! Frannie, touch! Okay, let's try it again. Frannie, touch! Yes! Good job! Frannie, touch! Yes! Good job! Okay, I upped my energy a little bit. Sometimes that really helps if they're not responding the way you want or a little sluggishly. Sometimes if you really up your energy and make it like a game, that helps, and even switch positions a little bit. I find that helpful. So once you're able to add in that verbal cue and they're consistently responding, now it's time to add a little bit of movement and distance. So you want to do it very gradually. I'll just see if I can move my hand back an inch or two and see if she'll follow it. Frannie, touch! Yes! Good job! Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Frannie, touch! Yes! Good job! Frannie, touch! Yes! Good job! And you just keep gradually moving back. If at any point your dog won't follow your hand, then stop, reposition, and put your hand much closer to their face. You always want to break it down and start back at square one and proceed more gradually if they're having any trouble, right? Frannie, touch! So see, she had some trouble with that one, so I'm going to bring my hand in closer. Frannie, touch! Yes! Now bring it back a little more slowly. Frannie, touch! Yes! Sometimes really upping your energy and moving position can help, because if your dog's not engaging and just sort of wanting to sit there instead of touch, it really helps to get them moving. And again, make it a game. Frannie, touch! Good job. Frannie, touch. Yes. Good job. Frannie, touch. Yes. Good job. So that's really helpful. Another thing that you can do is to cup your fingers a little bit so it looks like you have something in your hand. That makes them even more curious about coming over to check it out. So again, you can try that. Frannie, touch. Yes. And after several repetitions with your fingers cupped, you can gradually straighten those back out. Another common issue we find is for dogs who already know the shake or the give paw behavior, because the hand signal you use for that is very similar to the hand signal we use for touch. It's putting the hand right in front of your dog's face. So we want to try to differentiate those hand signals as much as possible to minimize confusion. So again, if you normally place your hand in front of your dog to ask for a shake, and what you're going to do for the touch is have your hand way over here. So there's a real difference in positions, all right? Frannie, touch. Yes. Good. And if your dog is still having trouble, even when you switch positions of your hand over to the side, you can differentiate even more by going from having him touch your whole hand to touching just 2 fingers. So take your index and middle finger, put them together, fold your other fingers back, and just have your dog touch the 2 fingers. Touch. Yes. Good job. You want to be sure and practice this skill in different rooms of your house, outside, in stores, in different locations. You also want to practice it when the dog's in a standing position, sitting position, and maybe even in the down position. The more positions that your dog will do this behavior from, the more environments that you practice in, the better the dog will generalize this skill and do it for you in any environment. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or need help with anything, please don't hesitate to contact me at Trimpe, that's K-T-R-I-M-P-E, Trimpe at pawsandthink.org. Thanks everybody, bye-bye.